In this tutorial, you'll be learning how to model, rig, and animate your very own four-legged creature. You can make it go any direction, jump, and maybe we can give it a little bit of an attitude using only Blender. So we'll be working in Blender version 2.93, and we'll start out by deleting everything and creating a plane. And this will be our leg. So go to edit mode by pressing tab and right click, merge vertices at center. And now all we have in our entire scene is one single vertex. And we're going to extrude this on the Z-axis by pressing E and then Z. Let's do 4 meters. So we're going to add thickness to our leg by using the skin modifier. So go to modifier properties, add modifier, skin. And now we have a rectangle. And you can't rotate or scale any points of this. You have to use Ctrl A to adjust the radius of the vertex. So let's make it pointy at the top and let's make it wider at the bottom. And this is actually our leg upside down. Right click, subdivide, and then increase the number of cuts to 2. So now we have these 2 joints. If you press G, you can move them around. You can see that we have created bones. But right now these are still just vertices. So to make any actual bones, we can create furniture. This button is disabled until we have exited edit mode. So let's go back to object mode, and in modifier, create furniture. And now we have an object with a bunch of bones that are connected to our leg. So now we can access pose mode, which allows us to select the bone, rotate it, and our leg will follow. And this also unlocks some incredibly powerful tools like inverse kinetics. So go to pose, inverse kinetics, add IK mode. Make sure you have this last bone selected, and then add this IK to new empty object. So now we go back to the object mode. You can select this empty, and we have a really powerful rig already. So the technique we'll use in this tutorial is to move this empty object around and cut away, make this other stuff behave like leg. So to keep things tidy, let's rename this empty object IK target.
Can you?
Because if we were to move this around, and now you can select the furniture leg, you can move this around by pressing G. You can see that there's a limit to how far we can move. And if you want this from the front perspective, you choose another one. You can also use widget with -y. Now you press G to move this around, you can see that we are limited to this area. So we want it to be in this area instead, and that is roughly 45 degrees. So you can actually fix this by just rotating it, so hold on control and do -45. So now we can move this around and we have a much more comfortable zone to work. So let's make a body. Shift A, let's make a cube. Let's move this cube on the Z-axis, pressing G and then Z, and let's rename this to body. And now we can move.
I'm not sure if it took it from my... How do I even check if it's using my mic? I'm gonna assume... Hey. I can see it here. It's recording, right? Hey. If it's not recording my voice, I'm gonna be pissed. But anyway,
Or leg and our armature just outside this, and let's just use more room. And now we can take the armature and leg and turn it to the body. So select armature and leg, hold on shift and click the body, and go object, parent, which is copy. This is where things get really interesting, because now we can move around our body, we can rotate it, and we can move this leg, and we can focus on the actual character. I think this looks a little bit weird right here on the edge, so I'm gonna make a fake joint. So let's go shift A, let's make it nicer. And open this menu, set subdivisions to 4. And then right click, set the shading to 2. Then we can move this on the Z-axis, and then place it like in the middle of it. It feels more like an actual joint. So let's hold on shift and turn it to the body as well. So now we can move the body, we have this joint, and we have a leg, and things are starting to reboot. Now we're going to the next step, which is to make this walk. We're going to use a path shaped like a circle. So go shift A, curve, circle, and then go to edit mode and rotate this by 90 degrees on the x-axis. Let's go back to object mode. Let's move this over here. Select our IK target. Go to object constraint properties, add object constraint, and select flow path. And then set the target to be the Bezier circle. And now this is really weird because this IK target has a lot of weird random location there. So let's remove this by going object, clear, location, which is all G. And now you can just increase the offset of the flow path and walk. And it's stretching a little bit, so let's just scale this down. Move it in a little bit. Perfect. So animate this. Let's go to frame 10, and then insert a keyframe on the offset value. And then advance by 20 frames. So frame 30, and then if you set this 100, that's exactly one cycle. So let's just type 100, and then insert another keyframe. Now this is only just one round. So keep this going forever. You can hold your mouse and go shift E and set to linear extrapolation. And this will just make it keep going forever. Even after animation ends, it's going to keep going. Now one problem is that this is a circle, and it's not really touching the floor. We want it to walk more like this. So you can select circle, go ahead, select these 2 control points. And go to control points, set and type vector. And now you can, for example, click and drag these 2, and you can press S to scale it up, and then you take this bottom control point and move it on the Z-axis. And if you want to be really precise, you can set the transform pivot point to 3D cursor and scale it on the Z-axis by a value of 0. Make sure your 3D cursor is reset before doing that. So now we can press play and we're walking. And we can actually select this one and we can scale.
I'm not sure if it could be... Man, who cares? Let me put this here. Because I want to use this video as like my guidance. So again, like I did try this already at night, and I got to the point where I had 4 legs and they were moving. So I'm gonna try this again. So he says select everything, press X. Why is it not? See, I already have a problem. Okay, I don't know what this issue is, but don't save. I'm gonna go ahead and force quit whatever I got. Why is messages black? Oh no, that's OBS. Notes. Delete. Force quit notes. Messages. Blender. Let's see how this goes. So can I select everything and delete? Yeah, I gotta figure out how to fix that. But first things first, I'm gonna save this. And I'm gonna call it spider. I swear to God, I did this. I had saved something called spider. How do I know it's in the right spot? My projects. Okay, yeah. Let's put spider practice. Let's call it 1. Practice 1. So now it's saved. Spider practice. Okay, let's see if so he said press shift plane. And with the plane, you're gonna have to I'm gonna see if I can do at least the little leg, one leg. Okay, so I think I have to go to edit mode. And then I select merge vertices as center. After that, I press E and then press Z so it can go up to the Z axis. And he did like 4.5. After this, okay, yeah, we're supposed to go here and add a modifier and generate skin. Then after this, I press Control A. Yep. Let's see. And then here I do the same thing. Control A. Yep. Then I click the little thing here and I select the whole thing. And I should hit subdivide. Go to 4 or 2. That'll be 2. After the subdivide, okay, I should go back to object mode, select it all, and oh yep, create armature. And let me do exactly what he did, which is just, he called it leg. That way we can be organized. You know, sometimes I wonder, like, this is actually like really hard work. It's like painful work. Like on the other live stream I did, it would, like on ChatGPT, it literally said like, it's painful work to do it this way. It's like some, what was I trying to do? I was trying to clone my face, which I still want to do. Maybe in another video I'll do that, or in another live stream, but fly. But damn, yeah, this is some crazy work. Okay. I have respect for these people who do this. How the hell you make a movie, a 2-hour movie with animation? I understand it's like a team of like 100 something people. Probably 1,000 people, who knows? Voice actors and a bunch of animators, editors, sound designers. But man, even like the other guy, this is the guy that I really liked, Zach D Films. I saw like, this is what I did. I did like how to make videos like Zach D Films. And there was a tutorial of some guy, it was like a completely different guy. He said that this Zach D Films uploads like 4 times a day. And they're like 20 to 30 second videos. And like, to make 1 second in animation takes a long ass time. Popping the Zen. Spitting that shit out. I've been hooked. It helps me like stay awake, focus. Okay, so let's just continue with this. Okay, so once we're in, if we have the armature, we're supposed to go to pose. Yep, this is an issue. Do we? Yeah. So how? I remember there's a way. Why is it? There are 4 different things. I created the armature. Leg. Okay, I gotta go to armature and then select pose. I get it, okay. After that, I'm supposed to select this last bone and go to pose and go to inverse kinematics. And this is another thing I learned from the previous live stream. There's like 4 different things. It's like ChatGPT is great. Maximo, okay, was after. I'm doing these live streams to like help me out. Okay, so spine. Can you please explain mode? You see here, alright, do you know blah blah blah. And it explained like the IK, FK, MK. I still don't understand. I understand this a bit more. I understand this one more now. These I still don't understand. This with time I'll probably understand. So this is what this basically right here. Animate each bone one by one. No, it's animate from the end, like moving the wrist. The rest of the arm follows. This is the IK, inverse schematic. And that's what I'm doing here. IK. And then we set it. Is it with objects? Yeah, I'm gonna watch the video. I'm just gonna put it here. And we have it part of the.
So we'll be working in Blender version 2 to modify properties, both the vertices, incredibly powerful tools like inverse kinematics. So go to pose, inverse kinematics, add IK to bone. Make sure you have this last bone selected. And then add this IK to new empty object. So now
Empty object. Cool. So we're gonna do empty object. So what's the difference? Okay, so now if I press G, no, oh no, I messed up. You see how I moved that? If I go here and press G, okay, I got an object. If I go here, press G, yep, and move it. And if I double click, or if I right click on a mouse, or just secondary click on the trackpad, I can cancel. Yeah, I have a problem here. I think it's not supposed to do this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go all the way back to where it looked normal, because maybe I should make these mistakes. I'm avoiding many mistakes. Could just go back to where I had it. Okay, yeah, let's. Well, it's just not like this. The video's not. He didn't have it like this. So if you look above. Oh, okay. See this? Okay, so what did he do after this? I'm just gonna try to remember. Let's just watch.
Now when we go back to the object mode, you can select this empty and we have a really powerful rig already. So the technique we'll be using in this tutorial is to move this empty object around in a clever way to make this other stuff behave like a leg. So to keep things tidy, let's rename this empty object to IK target.
Get it? I think gonna put leg. Right, is that what he did?
And there.
Not, so IK means inverse schematics. Okay, so
There's one thing that we need to fix, because if we were to move this down, and now you
I'm gonna try to do that without him saying it. So I have to go to the X. Yep, X. So he basically says, if I press this, oh no, okay, so if I have this like that, and then I go here, press this, actually I gotta select all that, and then I press G, it doesn't let you, I guess it doesn't, because it's on the y-axis, or the, not the y, is it the y-axis? Z? What axis? I gotta get familiar with these axes. So he basically says you can't like bend over. You can't bend the arm enough. Let's see if I can do it with the drawing. Yeah. He says, see, I'm gonna be a master at this shit. He says it's like this or something like that, and we want it like that. And that's literally what he draws.
can select the armature and the leg, and you can move this around by pressing G. You can see that there's a limit to how far we can move this. And if you watch this from the front orthographic view, which is numpad 1, you can also use this widget and click -Y. And now you can press G to move this around. You can see that we are limited to this area.
Okay, wait a second. So I gotta go to -Y. Let me. So what is Y? Y is up and down. X is left, right. Z is in and out. So up and down. Okay. Okay. Let's just see.
So we want it to be in this area instead, and that is roughly.
Turn off my air conditioning. Let me put this here. Okay.
45 degrees. So you can actually fix this by just rotating it. So hold on Control and do -45. So now.
Guess I hold control. So first things first, I'm gonna bend it. Then this. I'm gonna hit R. And then he said I can just press 90. Wait, let me check this again. Cancel. R. 90. Okay. Let me see what that did. I think I did it on a different axis. See, this is what I'm saying. I gotta get familiar with this axis. Yeah, because this is up and down, so I basically have it sideways. Okay. Z. How does he have it?
We can move this around, and
So
we have a much more comfortable zone to work in. So let's.
So his Z. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. So, oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. So I'm gonna G and then I'm gonna do X. Okay, no, not X. G and then Z. Nope. G and then X. Oh no, okay. G and then X and Y. X, Y. G, shift, X, Y. Nope. G, shift. Oh no, I did Z. No, it's X, Y. Okay. Yep. So now I'll select this part, press R, but R just on the X. Oh, it would be the Y. Now I'm going to press 90. Okay, I think I messed up. G. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, so if I do this, do this, do this. Oh, I think I did it right. I did it right. I'm going to backspace, G. Huh. See? Yeah, no, I did it wrong. R. Yep, it needs to be on the x-axis or the y-axis. R. No. I think I can just select this. Wait, does he select both?
Let's make a body. Shift A, let's make a cube. To this area. So we want it to be in this area instead, and that
Oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay. Let's be here. That means I'm gonna rotate on the y-axis. Okay. Rotate Y. And just press 90. Maybe I gotta do. Oh no, he said 45. Back. Cancel. R, Y. 45. Okay, so it'll be negative 45. But he didn't do it that way.
is roughly 45 degrees. So you can actually fix this by just rotating it. So hold down Control and do minus 45. So
minus. Okay, to work. Okay, so now if I do this, press G. Cancel. G. And we're gonna go just X. Nope. G. Yeah, X, Y. Yep. I'm trying to keep everything in this axis. That way when I spawn the square, it'll just be on in the center. And since this is already in the center, I think there's a way to like automatically like, how you call it, like attach to the grid so it can be in the center, but I don't know. So I'm gonna do what he said. He did something like this. Let me see it better. G. You know, this is where I mess it up. Let me see. Have you seen that? Back. G. X, Y. Shift X, Y. Okay, so now this is where he spawns the...
now we can move this around and we have a much more comfortable zone to work in. So let's make a body. Shift A, let's make a cube.
He makes the cube. This is the cool thing. I'm learning. Shift A, cube. on the Z axis. Yep. And then we're gonna S. But we can G, Z, be back. So what does he do after? I think he makes this. Oh, I wonder if I can. Yeah. G, Z. I'm gonna put, you see that point? I'm gonna align them. I don't know if that makes a difference. And I can just do this, then this, and it's Control P. Set parent. Now I'm gonna hit G. Yeah, let me see what he does.
Let's move this cube on the Z-axis by pressing G and then Z, and then let's rename this to body.
Let me do that first, because I know this could become a cluster mess here, and I don't want that.
Now we can move our leg and our armature just outside this, and let's just give it some more room. And now we can take the armature and our leg and parent it to the body.
Yeah, wait, I'm not gonna. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah. Yep. I think I should have made the leg a bit fatter. Is that a good proportion? Yep, I'm getting the hang of it. G, Z. Oh no, I keep it like it is. It's literally like connected. So he took all of this. Actually, I think it was just this. G, and then we're gonna press X. Oh, no, it's not X. Yeah, it is G and then X. Yeah, it's not looking so good. Yeah, so he selects this. That's what I did wrong. I didn't select the empty thing, the IK target. And then Shift, and then this, then Shift P or Command P, object. Now I can press G. Wait a minute. Let me put that back. Yeah, let me do. Okay, how did he do that?
Rename this to body. And now we can move our leg and our armature just outside this, and let's just give it some more room. And now we can take the armature and our leg and parent it to
Okay, it was just the bones. Wait, okay, so this doesn't matter. GX. This entire thing. GX. Yeah, I think that looks better. Honestly, GX we're gonna put a circle there. So he just took the armature and the leg, and then he pressed shift and then this, and then control P. Set objects. Now if I do this, yep, we got it connected. Freaking fly. Let's see what I can do.
To the body. So select the armature and the leg, hold down shift and click on the body and go object parent, which is control P. This is where things get really interesting, because now we can move around our body and we can rotate it and we can move this leg, and we're getting close to something that looks like an actual character. I think this looks a little bit weird right here on the edge, so I want to make a fake joint. So let's go.
Yeah, let me do that first. Command A, and he did a sphere, icosphere, and then he did turn this into 4. He pressed shift and put shade. I'm gonna press S, make it smaller. G to go up in the Z axis. G, Z, then G, X. I think that, okay, so now this and this, we can command P that, and now they're together. And G. Yep, I knew that. So I saw this video yesterday. I saw it like 5 times. So I'm not gonna.
Shift A.
I only went to like here, and then all this I didn't do. So this is probably gonna take me an hour. This is super. The guy goes so fast, but he's really good. I mean, from what I've seen in this video, he made a freaking spider, and I mean, he has like a fireball or fire. Yeah. This is gonna be interesting. My new rigging workflow. This is a hand. So this guy is probably like he's a massive guy in the industry. I'm a digital artist. Oh, he's from Norway. Yeah, so I mean,
really interesting, because now we can move around our body and we can like an actual joint. Select the sphere, hold down shift and parent it to the body as well. So now you can move the body and we have this joint and we have a leg, and things are starting to look really good. Now we're ready for the next step, which is to make this walk. We're going to use a path.
oh yeah. I'm trying to remember it as in like how to do it. Like I see he made the path. I'm gonna try to make the path now because I already saw this. So it's Command A, and it's just a circle. Now this circle, we're gonna R it, and we're gonna do it on the X-axis. You know what? R it, X, and we can just do 45. Oh no, it's 90. 90. Then we're gonna G it, and we're gonna go through the X again. After we do that, this thing force constraint, add a constraint, follow path. This is like basic thing shit from what I can tell. These people do it super fast, and I'm out here thinking it's like the greatest thing in the world. But it's cool to learn. Okay, yes, and we're gonna press this target. Target's gonna be this thingy. actually this. Oh no, wait. So I added a constraint here. We gotta delete this. It's gonna be here. This thing's gonna have a constraint. It's gonna be a follow path, and it's gonna be follow path. I wonder if I can do this and then do the circle. Okay, let's see how I did it.
Shaped like a circle. So go Shift A, curve, circle, and then go to edit.
Oh, what? That's why. I was going to delete it. X. So it's Shift A, curve. So I did this circle, so it's curve, circle. Okay, so let's R 90. Nope. R X 90. Now G X. Something like that. Then this path. Okay. So what he said with this is that we're supposed to go to object, something with the location. We gotta go. Oh yes, clear location. Now, if we do this, yep. Honestly, that's kind of. I think I can do the next part, which is this circle. Let's see. I'm not even sure if this is capturing my sound. Oh crap. Is it capturing my sound? Maybe I'm just stalling here. I'm trying to make excuses. Yeah, it is. So I gotta go to object. No, actually I think I gotta go to edit mode. Yep. And I select these two. And I think control points. Where's the segments? No, I think it is control points. Make segments. Hook. Let me see what it is.
Mode and rotate this by 90 degrees on the x-axis. Let's go back to object mode. Let's move this over here. Select our IK target. Go to object constraint properties, add object constraint and select follow path. And then set the target to be the Bezier circle. And now this looks really weird because this IK target has a lot of weird random location data. So let's remove this by going object, clear, location, which is Alt G. And now you can just increase the offset of the follow path and we're walking. And it's stretching a little bit, so let's just scale this down. Move it in a little bit. Perfect. So to animate this, let's go to frame 10 and then insert a keyframe on the offset value.
I guess that is not like a mandatory thing, but so he's in object mode. And what we'll do here, yep, we're gonna go to, yep, here, animate. Zero. Path is already animated. insert keyframe. I think I can just do it here, right? That's going to be 100. Okay, how did he animate it?
And then advance by 20 frames, so which is Alt G. And now scale this down, move it in a little bit. Perfect. So to animate this, let's go to frame 10 and then insert a keyframe on the offset value. And then advance by 20 frames.
Okay, so I guess I can delete this. So we go to frame 10. You say insert keyframe. And I think you go to 30. But now this is 100. Insert a keyframe there. I think I messed up here. I know what to do. Edit. If I just rotate it, I'm gonna do it on the X. I'm gonna do 180. This, I'm gonna delete this. X. Frame 10, insert keyframe at 0. And then 30, 100. I think you just control shift.
Frames, so frame 30. And then if you set this to 100, that's exactly one cycle. So let's just type 100 and then insert another keyframe. And now this only does one round. So to keep this going forever, you can hold your mouse in the timeline, go Shift E and set it to linear extrapolation.
Shift E. Shift E. So let's see. Oh my god, I messed it up. I rotated it the wrong way. It was actually good the way I had it. I was just, I don't know. Rotate 180. Nope. Rotate X 180. Yep. Now there's this part that we basically do something here in edit mode. Go to curve points. Yeah, set handle, vector. Okay, no, that's not. You know what I can do? Oh, no, okay. Vector. I'm just gonna do what he said here. He said you can take these two. Basically select this one, shift, select this one. And press S. Now this one, we could press G and have it here. This is the part where I mess up, where I get confused, because he said we can go here. So it's median point. Okay. Press G, and we can just set it to 0 or 100. Nope, that's not it. Oh no, I'm supposed to put X. Press G, X, 0. G, X. Oh no, it's not X. G, Z. Yeah, we can just press 1. Yep. Again, I already saw this.
And this will just make it keep going forever. Even after your animation ends, it's going to keep going. Now, one problem is that this is a circle and it's not really touching the floor. We want it to walk more like this. So you can select the circle, go to edit mode and select these two control points and go to control points, set handle type, vector. And now you can, for example, click and drag on these two and you can press S to scale it up. And then you can take this bottom control point and move it on the Z axis. And if you want to be really precise, you can set the transform pivot point to 3D cursor and scale it on the Z axis by a value of 0. Make sure your 3D cursor is reset before doing.
Yeah, I gotta fix this because this really messed me up. I gotta go back to median point. Yeah, I think I can go ahead and do this now. Because what he did, he was in object mode. He selects all of this. Press Shift D, then R. Nope. I'm hungry. Let me see what it did.
That. So now we can press play and we're walking. And we can actually select this one and we can scale it up. And this is really powerful. What's really cool about this, you can actually just move this around still and it works perfectly. Okay, so this is looking good, but we need more legs. So select everything except from the body and then view it from the top view. You can use the widget and click this Z button. You can also use numpad 7. And now we're going to duplicate it and rotate it at the same time. So go to Object, Duplicate Object, which is Shift D. So press Shift D and then R right away. So we're rotating it while we're duplicating it. And then you can hold down Control to make it exactly 90 degrees. And don't do anything else because we just made one action. And we can
Yeah, that didn't work for me.
press Shift
Let me see how he did that again.
and then R right away. So
Shift, duplicate R. That's what I did actually. Go to Z. Shift, R. think I know what's happening. The center point. I had this problem already. Let me put Command S because I don't want to lose this. There was a problem with this that I already had the 4 legs, and then like my keyboard didn't work in Blender. Like I couldn't press and like space. I couldn't press G. I couldn't press any of the keyboard buttons. I don't know why that happened. I was trying to fix it, and it didn't even let me save it. Like it would let me like press play this way, like with the mouse, and press things. I couldn't figure out what it was. I had to force quit it, and I was like, you know, this is fine because I'm gonna make a video. Okay, so he's in object mode.
We're rotating it while we're duplicating it. And then you can hold down Control to make it exactly 90 degrees. And don't do anything else because we just made one action. And we can press Shift R to repeat that action. So duplicate it and rotate it at the same time. So go to Object, Duplicate Object, which is Shift D. So press Shift D and then R right away. So we're rotating it while we're duplicating.
Oh, I see. See, this is... I got it. That's why. You select all. And I can just shift this. And then I hit Command D, R. R, but we're gonna do it on the Z. So why is this happening? My back is itching. Okay. Let's figure this out. Let me just press. Well, you said Command R or Shift D. I wonder where my back scratcher is. Oh, my elbow. Or my... Oh, okay. I had this working before. Command D, R. Oh yeah, I see what happened. Z. Command Shift D, Z. Nope. Command D, R. You know what? I'm just gonna move this back. G. Oh my god, I have like 3. Let's see. Just one? How many of these do I have? Okay, that's the only one. Did I mess it up? Am I still in 3D cursor? Okay. Shift D, R. Shift D R. It's fine. Yeah, I cannot have it like that. So I just flip it on the Z axis. Command D R Z. This I can put G X X Y. Nope. I'm doing this the slow way. I just X. Is there a way to align it a different way? I know I could do it this. What? So this right here. G Y. I did it the slow way. That didn't happen to me before. Okay, so D R. Yeah, okay, this is annoying. But let me see. He said after I do it, I
Getting it. And then you can hold down Control to make it exactly 90 degrees. And don't do anything else, because we just made one action. And we can press Shift R to repeat that action. So Shift R.
door. Okay, so I guess that does happen. Command D R. Shift R. G. Okay. G. Go here. G. What? I guess it doesn't matter if it's perfect, right? Because they say art is all about the imperfections. Well, I'm just gonna align it. Yep. I'm gonna copy how this one is. So this one's like that. I mean, this is where I was at last time. But what is the front? What would we consider the front? X? So this is the front. Is there a way to like go to the normal view? Like to the default?
R and then Shift R again. And now this looks like a complete mess, but it's actually completely fine. The only thing that's the problem is that these IK targets are out of position. So we can reset their position by going Object, Clear, Location, which is Alt.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that. I don't care. I'm gonna go back. Just because I need to get the learning. Okay, so we can press Shift. Actually, no. Do this one. Shift. That's what I did wrong. I mean, I think I can click on all four, right? Yeah, then we go to Object, Clear, Location. Ah, man, are you serious? So he did something with the rotation too.
G. And then you can also reset the rotation of these Bezier circles that are used as paths. So to reset this, go to Object, Clear, Rotation, which is Alt R. And now when you press play,
Okay. So he Shift. Clear rotation. Yeah, this is where I know I messed up. It doesn't even matter though, because I can hit R, X, okay, no, median point, R, individual origins, R, yep, so X axis, R, X, yeah, we can put 45, oh no, it's 90. Fixed. I don't know how I got to this point, but I fixed it. It's probably gonna bite me in the ass, the situation, because I didn't have that before, but look, I fixed it. Yep, okay, so let's see what this guy does now.
they're all moving in the same direction. And we have a really cool rig that we can move in real time.
So if I move this, G, so I can just have this bounce and move to a direction.
You can rotate it around, but now all the legs are jumping at the same time. So to make it actually walk, you can select the IK target for the first and then the last leg. And then let's zoom in on the timeline a little bit. you can see that there are 20 frames.
Let me do that. So you said select the first and the last. And then there's 20 frames. We just select it and we move it. See, I want to animate like characters. I guess spiders would be cool, but like bears, animals, humans, even like doors opening. So this is great practice. I'm really, yeah, so it's going this way. This is the direction it's going, to negative x. Is he going negative x too?
Which means that on 10 frames they will be halfway. So select A to select all the keyframes and then press G and then move them 10 frames. And now when you press play, we can still move this around and have a lot of fun. Now what's incredibly powerful with this rig is that these 4 paths are controlling the direction of our character. So if you set the transform pivot point to individual origins, you can press play and then you can rotate them on the z-axis. And now we can adjust the direction of our creature. And this is just incredibly powerful. So to control this properly, let's reset the rotation and then let's go Shift A and let's create an empty set to sphere. And then let's call this direction controller of our creature. For 20 frames, which means that on 10 frames they will be halfway. So select A to select all the keyframes and then press G and then move them 10 frames. And now when you press play, we can still move this around and have a lot of fun. Now what's incredibly powerful with this rig is that these 4 paths are controlling the direction of our character. So if you set the transform pivot point to individual origins, you can press play and then you can rotate them on the z-axis. And now we can adjust the direction of our creature. And this is just incredibly powerful. So to control this properly, let's reset the rotation and then let's go Shift A and let's create an empty set to sphere. And then let's call this direction controller. And then right click, adjust.
Okay, so am I supposed to select everything first? Yeah, let me see that again.
Just empty display size and then let's scale this up. So now we can select this first path and in the object constraints properties, we can go add object constraint, copy rotation, and then set the target to be the direction controller. So now this will only copy the rotation, not the location. Select these 3 as well, hold down Shift to select the first one, go to Object, Constraints, and then copy constraints to selected objects. So now these all have the same constraint and we can...
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff there.
So to control this properly, let's...
Okay, I kind of... Okay, so I'm gonna determine what's... Yeah, so it's negative x. So empty. So empty, I guess empty is something that the animation follows, like the circle, like the sphere we're gonna do. He pressed S and made it bigger. Okay, let me see what he said again.
Reset the rotation and then let's go Shift A and let's create an empty set to sphere. And then let's call this direction. Controller. And then right click, adjust empty display size, and then let's scale this up. So now we can select this first path and in the...
So is there a difference between adjust empty display size and S? I don't think so.
Object constraints properties, we can go add object constraint, copy rotation.
Okay. So this, add constraint. He did follow path, right?
rotation, and then set the target to be the direction controller. And then right click, adjust empty display size, and then let's scale this up. So now we can select this first path, and in the object constraints properties, we can go add object constraint, copy rotation, and then set the target to be the direction controller.
I'm not even sure what that means, but I'm gonna. Crap. So I could rotate it on the X. So X is red. I gotta remember that shit. Okay, so I gotta do negative. Okay. See, this is where I messed up the direction where things are going. I mean, could I reverse the rotation of this thing? Okay, I'm gonna do that again. Or before I even connect it, yeah, I can rotate it. So which way? R, X, negative 90. Copy rotation of this. No, I can't have it go backwards. What? But I think I could have it go backwards. So you click object, copy objects.
So now this will only copy the rotation. So now we can select this first path, and in the object constraints properties, we can go add object constraint, copy rotation, and then set the target to be the direction controller. So now this will only copy the rotation, not the location. Select these three as well, hold down shift to select the first one, go to object, constraints, and then copy constraints to selected objects. So now the
So even this one. So you said copy constraints. Oh. Copy constraint to selected objects. Yeah, so now it's basically going to the X. It's going that way. It's fine because it's like a cube thing that's the same in all directions. But this wouldn't work with like a dog that has a head because it would be going backwards. I guess it wouldn't work as a spider neither because we would put a face on a spider, but this is like a cube spider, so it looks the same on all directions. So I would have to figure that out. But right now it's fine.
these all have the same constraint, and we can rotate the direction controller, and we have a really powerful rig. But let's make things a little bit more interesting by adding some
Let me see that. So you're saying I can rotate this? Rotate on the Z. Just like a little spider. That's so cool.
Random movement to our body. So right click and select vertical split and set this editor type to graph editor. Let's select the body.
This is where things get complicated. Where it looks complicated. I don't know. It's probably not complicated for you experts. So you say split? Split. I know I can do it this way. But let me see what you mean. How do you do that?
Random movement to our body. So right click and select vertical.
Right click here.
To our body. So right click and select.
Okay, so you select this. Vertical split. Oh. Oh. Yeah, I know I can just do it here. Let me just do that.
Vertical split and set this editor type to graph editor. Let's select the body and press
Global.
I and set this editor random movement to our body. So right click and select vertical split and set this editor type to.
Okay, which one? I'm gonna copy exactly to the right one. Graph editor.
Graph editor. Let's select the body and press I and insert location and rotation
Select the body. Press I.
keyframes. So now let's select the body and press I and insert location and rotation keyframes.
Let me delete this. Because you press I. Oh no. I wonder if I can delete this. Delete, yeah, delete. Delete channels. Press I. Cursor selection. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. I guess I did do what he said. Oh, I never named it body. I thought I did.
So now our object has object transforms for X, Y, and Z location
Oh.
and rotation. So select the X location and press N to get up this menu and click modifiers. So now we can access the F-curve modifiers. And the one we're going to use is called noise.
Okay, let me see if I can do that. He said X. Modifiers. Noise.
So once you apply the noise modifier, our body is immediately start to shake. So we can increase the scale of this movement. Let's do 15. And you can increase the strength. 1 is great for
That's cool.
now though, and then you can change the face if you like. And now you can copy the
Face. So this is just random. It wouldn't matter. I mean, I guess it would matter, but it's all different. Yeah, I see.
this modifier because it's currently only applied to the X location. So copy F modifiers and then go to Y location and paste it. But now when you press play,
So you can copy it. And then paste. Should I put on the Z too?
you can see that it's going diagonally. And that is because the X location and the Y location have the exact same face. So if you adjust the face, you can see
Yeah, I think that's good.
that now we're getting random movement on both channels. And this is starting to look really organic. So let's do this for the Z location as well. Let's paste the modifier and let's give it a new face. You know, let's lower the strength a little bit for the Z axis. Perfect.
Okay, so you did it for Z. And you say you lowered the strength. What? Wait. 0.5. Oh.
And now we can do the same for the rotation. So go to the X rotation, paste, but now we want to lower the strength just a little bit. So let's do
Oh wow.
0.4.
I mean, I guess I can do it for these too. Even the scale. Oh yeah. I'm gonna do it to all of them. What is the offset? Depth. Okay, no. Long lacunarity. What does this mean?
Is good. Let's give it a random face. Copy, go to Y-axis, face, random, Z. Yeah, you know the drill. And now it's almost as if we have a living
Let
creature.
me put a big number. Okay, no, not. So what does that do?
That is walking in our scene. Perfect. Let's make it actually walk across the screen. So let's make a new object, Shift A, empty, cube. Right click, adjust the empty display size and make it really big. And now we're going to call this character controller. Now hold down Shift while you
Wait, how do I take that out? I think I shift, right? Shift. Join right. Join left. Oh no. Oh no, okay. Join don't matter because I can just go here and then 3D. So the guy made a cube
empty cube.
Oh, empty. S. I wonder if this empty means like what the. No, actually, no. Yeah, I'm not even sure what that is. Well, it's something to control. I guess it controls everything. Let's just.
Right click, adjust the empty display size and make it really big. And now we're going to call this character.
Oh man, I gotta remember. Character controller.
Controller. Now hold down shift while you select the direction controller, all these paths and the body. And now you can press G and you can just see that everything is moving. And then hold down shift and select the character controller.
Select all the things. That one, this one. Select this first. Then select that. Select that. Select that. And then you select this. Oh, body.
And then Control P. So now you can only move the character controller and this will move. Now at
Control P.
this point in the tutorial, if you're familiar with drivers, feel free to go ahead and add a driver for the offset. But right now we're just going to quickly eyeball it, which is also really fast. So let's move our character controller on the x-axis and then press I for insert location. Then let's move it a few frames over and then press G, X and move it over here and then insert another location. So now we're running into the same issue where we want to make this go on forever. So have your mouse in the timeline and go add a driver for the offset. But right now we're just going to quickly eyeball it, which is also really fast. So let's move our character controller on the x-axis.
So move it on the X. Yeah, but I'm gonna have it differently. G, X. Have it here.
And then press I for insert location. Then let's
Press I. Wait, what? So I insert location.
move it a few frames over and then press G.
Move a few frames. And I guess I press
X and move it over here and then insert another location. So now we're running into the
okay, so you move it about, let's say 50. GX I. This one I'm gonna move it all the way to 20, just like he has it.
same issue where we want to make this go on forever. So have your mouse in the timeline and go Shift E linear extrapolation.
Shift E. so it does come back. Well, I could just copy and paste. Yeah, that's not how it goes, right?
So now when you press play, it's going way too fast. It's sliding a lot. So to fix this, let's just have a look. Okay, so it's sliding too much. And then select one of the keyframes, press G, and then let's move it back a little bit. And now you can actually just... Wow, did I actually just nail this on the first try?
I see what you're doing. Come here, buddy. It's too fast. How do I tell if it's sliding? I can barely see that shit. Is my eyes, is that the problem? Oh, I think this is the issue too. Yeah, so I think I did this on the completely wrong axis. So this would be going like, because I'm viewing it from the y-axis. It's almost like it's in a wall. Like on a wall walking.
Okay, so if you don't get super lucky and nail this on the first try, that's actually quite insane. You can just sort of see, okay, it's sliding too much, so let's move it this way. Oh, no, it's too little. Yeah, so this is just a really... I actually just messed this up by nailing it on the first try. Okay, now this is walking across the screen. But for the cherry on top, there's one final thing you can do, which is just absolutely insane. So let's split our viewport again, go to Graph Editor. Let's select the Z location. See this one. Let's bring up the F-curve modifiers again. And let's add a modifier called built-in function. And this creates a sine wave. And now this looks absolutely crazy. We don't want this. We want to set it to additive, so it lies on top of the noise. And you can already see where we're going with this. Look at this guy going completely crazy, and I just love this so much. So we can lower the amplitude a little bit, and then lower the phase multiplier, which is basically...
We did a sine wave. I'm getting the hang of it. Graph Editor. So you want on the Z look? I said Z and I clicked on Y. Add a modifier. Sine. How do you do that?
the frequency. The amp going completely crazy, and I just love this crazy. Let's select the Z location. See this one. Let's bring up the F-curve modifiers again, and let's add a modifier called built-in function. And this creates a sine.
Built-in function, huh?
wave. And now this looks absolutely crazy. We don't want this. We want to set it to additive, so it lies on top.
I added it, that's where I messed up.
Top of the noise. And you can already see where we're going with this. Look at this guy going completely crazy, and I just love this so much. So we can lower the amplitude a little bit, and then lower the phase multiplier, which is basically the frequency.
Yeah, I didn't do that one. Honestly, that's fine. What was the actual one that was here already? I think it's perfect.
So let's lower this to 0.5. Let's do 0.5 and 0.5. And look at this, look how much character we're suddenly getting. Let's lower the amplitude a little bit, increase the phase. And this doesn't even have to be in sync with the legs, you're just getting so much emotion from this guy just bumping up and down. And I love this so much. So let's collapse this. So now you have a really powerful rig where you can, for example, rotate the direction controller on the Z-axis by, let's do 30 degrees. And then let's rotate the character controller on the Z-axis by minus 30 degrees. And you can see that this sort of goes, now it goes sideways a little bit. So now you have this cute little character walking around in your scene. Look how funny it is that he's just sort of walking across the screen like that. I really love this guy already. And it's really cool that you can just, poof, you can make it jump, and this is a really powerful rig. I really like this rig. So if you want to make this easy to use in all of your project files, you can just rename the collection. Let's call this Creature. Let's go to, for example, Blender version 3.0 with the super fast Cycles X render engine. Oh, we have to save this first. And let's go File, Append, and then just find your blend file.
I would say I did it. So now what do I do with this? I guess I can put this in a world. At least I can save this collection, right? I can rename it. I'm gonna put Color Spider from UT bid, and I'm gonna Control S, save it. Yeah, no, I think that's done. I learned a little bit more. Hopefully tomorrow I'll learn more and more and more. In my 6 months